Pope Francis, he marked the beginning of Holy Week with a Palm Sunday Mass. Now, the pontiff ignored his prepared homily and he winged it. He called on people to look into their own hearts to examine how they are living their lives. He even got off of his Pope-mobile to pose for selfies with people in the crowd. And you know what? This, let's say, newness, and I think it really is, and it's a shot of spirit into the church. Polls show it's working. Catholics in the U.S. view Pope Francis as a change for the better. More than 3/4 believe that the church should allow Catholics to use birth control. Nearly 3/4 believe the priest should be allowed to marry, and almost 70% believe that women should be allowed to become priests. And half say the church should recognize same-sex marriages. And Jeannie, you've worked at a Catholic institution before, you followed this. It seems that it's filtering down to the laity. They, you know, especially given when the scandals came to light and how they've dominated at least the last decade here, and the tone deafness of the church, certainly in the beginning. He took self-responsibility for it, even though he had no role in terms of sheltering or fostering any of these abusive priests. But he's gone much further, where I think he's changed, I believe, and I was there on a Palm Sunday, what the face of the church should be to the public. It shouldn't be hectoring and lecturing as much. It should be opening the doors more. You think the rank and file are getting the message?
I absolutely, I am astounded thinking back to when they were making the decision, how much has changed in what, a little over a year now. And I think in my mind, the biggest change has been the opening of a conversation that so many people, I mean, the polls you show about where the American public or American Catholics stand on various issues, those haven't changed as much. But what has changed is that now you see the Pope and now you see the Vatican willing to at least listen. I mean, here's a guy who did a poll, conducted his own poll to see where people stand. Now, that doesn't mean, and we know pretty clearly, for instance, that women are going to become priests anytime soon, if at all. But what it does mean is that he said, look, we're not about lecturing people, as you mentioned. We're not about telling you how to, we're about opening ourselves up. We're about having a conversation. And in my mind, I have to say it's very much what's been going on at Catholic colleges and universities for years, which is this whole notion of Catholic social teaching is about a discussion and a conversation.
It's also the Jesuit way.
It's the Jesuit way, and
has
he's
been
a
spirit,
Jesuit.
Learned, some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
It's
are
about
Jesuits.
Engagement.
Right.
Yeah. And we've been missing that for so long that people have just tuned out and turned off from the Catholic Church. So in my mind, it's incredibly earth-shattering what he's been able to do in a short period of time.
Even women may not become priests. I may not see priests marry in my lifetime. I think that's more of a possibility than people think, because it used to happen in the church. People don't know that. But women religious, the people on the front lines for this, the nuns and the people who really the church needs to keep it going, right? There is a possibility that the church finally will give these people the authority they've earned, frankly, and stop trying to marginalize like we saw in the last papacy.
Which almost seemed to be a feeling that they were threatened by them, as opposed to looking and embracing at all the incredible work that we're doing. And that's where we see Pope Francis making a turn and saying, look, if people are giving to the poor, if they are doing the good work of God, we need to embrace that and not be frightened by it and not turn away from it. So I think you're exactly right.
You know what's funny is Andrew, who
bless his soul, he's invisible.
In Passover, I wish him the best on it, but he said, I really like this. And I said, he said, you don't understand. The Pope isn't just for you guys. The Pope is this national, international symbol. And for a Jewish guy, like he said, it matters to me what he's saying and stuff. And I'm struck, Dom and Congressman, by the amount of people who don't go to church, the Catholic Church on Sunday, who have taken note of this Pope, and it matters. I mean, look at the president. The president, he went out of his way, and he's going to try and enlist him, I think, in terms of some of equality issues and stuff. There's a relevancy to him beyond just the billion Catholics in this world, isn't there?
It seems that he is of the people, is greatly loved. And this Pope, I don't mean to compare him with his predecessor, but I guess I do. Just look at the two different ways that they were treated. The last Pope was not seen as so much, you know, friendly to the regular guy. And this Pope, just look at any video of him. His security is there, but he's walking around amongst the masses.
He refused, is even the symbolism. He refused the Pope's quarters, if you will. He's living in an apartment. He's refused all the robes or whatever. He took the name of Francis, and if you know anything about theology, St. Francis of Assisi, he was of the people and the poor. He's washed the feet of teenage convicts here. I mean, listen, I get it. It hasn't changed anything yet in terms of church doctrine, but I do think it matters, and I'm not trying to be naive.
You know, as Jeannie was talking, the three of us were nodding our head. You said it so beautifully. But the bottom line is we need people we can respect who are in high places, because there aren't a lot of leaders right now that we really feel good about. And
that put others before themselves, and I think that comes across. Okay. When we come back, everyone, next week, it will mark a very sad anniversary, a year since the Boston Marathon bombings. And the questions are, how have we changed and what has really stuck with us in that last 12 months? Stay with us.